It is indeed your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, on S3. I'm glad you stayed there because we are about to discuss something so pertinent and important, and I'm sure that you've heard that this is such a grey area for so many different people, and that's why we brought in the experts. Now, an interesting question for you is, have you ever been in a relationship where you and your partner, you go get a pet together, you love the pet so much, and then, unfortunately, you break up, and then you can't decide who keeps the dog? Well, some of you may not know this, but Karis Nafti is actually an expert animal behaviorist. She also specializes in pet custody around the globe, and she joins us to tell us all about it and how she helps couples decide who keeps the dog, the cat, the parrot, the horse, whatever furry creature you may have at home, whatever you have brought into your lives together now that you're apart. How do you decide? Karis, I'm so happy. I'm happy that you brought this to the table, because I'm hearing about so many different grey areas, so many debacles with regard to how people operate. And the poor dog or the cat has to sit there thinking, like, where do I go next? So I wanted to actually discuss, like, the I'm going to say the vulnerability of the situation with you, but also how we navigate this, because it's sad. I'm looking at Bear now, and I can't imagine Bear thinking, you know, where do I go next, right?
Yeah. This is such a pertinent, important topic that people need to kind of get their head around, and there needs to start to be more discussion about it. So
I completely agree with you, and that's why when it comes to pet custody, it's not something that I've actually sort of heard commonly. So the big question is the pet custody. I mean, how do you even negotiate that? Is it the same type of mediation that you'd find in a divorce?
Well, yes and no, because it is a very gray area.
Yeah.
So I wear two hats in my job. I'm an animal behaviorist. I'm also a licensed divorce mediator. So I can go into these situations holding two sides of the same coin. Yeah. So there's two ways to look at this. There's the legal realities,
yes,
and the behavioral realities. So legally, pets are considered property, which means if you end up, if the divorce, let's say, goes south,
yeah,
and you can't resolve it between the two of you, and a judge decides for you, the judge has to award custody to whoever owns the dog. So that might mean if you and I were married and you bought Bear, but I took care of him his whole life, if your name is on the papers, he's technically yours. Oh. So, yeah, I know. Whew, okay, yeah, everybody breathe. Let's talk about that.
Felt some pressure on my chest now.
Yeah,
okay.
What I try to help couples with and try to educate people about is not letting pet custody end up in front of a judge. That you need to make the decision yourself.
Yes.
Because even if you can't agree, even if your ex are fighting about everything, the challenge is to put your own differences aside and actually look at, hang on, let's look at the pet, not what do I want, but what is actually the best interest for the animal involved, for the dog involved, the horse, the parrot, the whatever, yeah.
I know that dogs are emotional creatures, okay? Now, I'm a child of divorce, and I knew, even though my parents tried to hide it, what was going on behind closed doors. Are pets the same? Are dogs connected to what is actually going on when the breakup is actually happening?
So, Carl, people like to think that their dogs are children, but they're not.
Okay.
Okay, so it's wonderful that you brought up that point, because a lot of people view their dogs as children.
Yeah.
They love them as much as children, and I'm completely aware of that reality, but the dog's not kids. They don't have a concept of divorce or any of these very human ideas. What they do know is when the house is stressed. That they absolutely pick up. So they will react to the situation, not because they know their parents are separating and big unimaginable concepts to an animal, but they will want to know what is going on. The house is not okay. And that's when you see the behavior problems arrive, because the dogs will react to stress by having behavior problems. That's how they show it.
Yeah, I can see it in my dog. I mean, my dog, sometimes, you know, you leave the house and you can actually feel them feeling that. So I can only imagine what it's like when one of that couple that they live with actually leaves the home. So the big question is actually, how do you decide? What are the pillars to make this decision as to who gets the beautiful animal that you are leaving behind as you leave the relationship?
So I think this is a big, broad subject, but the first thing that people need to look at is that, first of all, your dog doesn't hate your ex, okay? Just because you suddenly do.
Okay.
Okay? So when you are having the conversation with your soon-to-be ex-partner,
yes,
you've got to watch language like, the dog hates you, the dog doesn't want to see you, because it's not about the dog, that's about you. And divorce is messy. We all know it. Let's not mince our words. But you can't put your own emotions onto the dog. What you have to do is look forward
Yes.
in the situation, going forward. Who's actually got the right situation for the dog? Not about fighting between the two of you. It's not about a winner and a loser between the two people. It's about what is the right situation for the animal involved going forward. Not, you gotta be big enough to put the fight aside. And I tell people, I say, listen, if you need to fight, because people need to fight about other stuff. Don't bring it on the dog. And it's so easy to fight about the dog because they are so important.
Yeah.
And when you are trying to hurt your ex, there's nothing better to do than to try to threaten them with the thing they like the most or that they care about the most, which for a lot of people is their animal.
All right, but sure, I'm thinking about this, and it's such a. I'm just thinking about it because people that struggle to navigate the kids when it comes to divorce, but now you're thinking about the animals too, and this is also something very, very important that we have to focus on. So, is there any way that we can try and mitigate some of the negative impact of a divorce or a breakup on a dog? I mean, I'm talking visitation rights. Does the dog still need to be in the other person's life? I just want to know that if spite is out of it, and we break up, is there a way that I can still visit the dog? Is there a way that is it still good for the dog to see me? Or are you trying to cut me out so it's easier for the dog to deal with one of the parents or one of the people in the relationship?
So very much depends on the relationship between the people.
Okay.
As an overarching theme, visitation is hard on dogs.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true.
Okay.
It's more for the people involved than for the dog. The only time visitation is really fair on a dog is if the two people are peaceful. Okay? If every time you visit, it's actually just an excuse to fight with your ex.
Okay, I got you.
Okay?
I
Which
got you.
happens, let's be honest.
Yes.
That's not fair on the dog. If it can be peaceful and if it can be calm, then that's a very different story. If the visitations are happening, you doing the visits, the best thing you can do to your dog is not get hysterically happy or hysterically sad or act like it's this massive reunion. Keep yourself very calm. Because if every time you visit the dog, you get so manic and, oh my gosh, Rover, I've missed you and I love you so much, it is really a stressful situation for the dog. They don't understand why you're acting like this. And then it's going to make them all twitchy and strange, yeah.
Thank you so much for dropping these pearls of wisdom. I think people need to reach out to you as well because they do need to find a mediator that will be able to deal with this space, and you are the person, Karis.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the advice today. And I mean, whether you are married, or single, or divorced, your pet's happiness and well-being should always be your first priority. Now, plenty of love, exercise, and nutritious food is the way to do it, along with the regular vet visits and monthly parasite treatments. To shop NexGuard Spectra to keep your dog protected against internal and external parasites, you can visit petheaven.co.za.